Hey, what is going on, guys? TBL here, coming back at you with some more coordinated Call of Duty World War II beta footage. Finally putting some videos out for this. I've been having some live streams of this game over the past couple of days, and I just figured I'd take a little bit of time to let you guys know my overall thoughts on this beta. Now, it's not going to be super duper comprehensive. I'm going to have other videos coming out talking more about the beta, you know, the weapons, the class setups and everything in there, but I figured I'd give you guys a quick rundown of what I like, what I don't like, and we can get into some of the more detailed stuff later. But first things first, before I get into this, I wanted to say, take a minute out of your day to send some thoughts and prayers over to the people of Houston, Texas. Texas as a whole is getting absolutely blasted by this massive hurricane. There's historic floods going on over there. I've got some family down there. I've been in contact with them. Everything seems to be okay right now, but there is definitely flooding everywhere. And if you take a minute to go on Twitter, you'll see some truly incredible and horrifying sights of people's homes, the streets, the highways, everything being flooded to such an insane degree that it really just reminds you of the absolute power of nature, and that just because we're in the 21st century doesn't mean that that we can't have any kind of horrible nature-fueled accidents going on. But the people of Texas are certainly going through a very rough period right now, so if you could just toss them some love, toss them some prayers, that would be a really great thing for you to do. And if you're watching this and you happen to live in Texas, I'm pulling for you, man. Let me know if anything happened. I want to know what the experience on the ground was like. I mean, I live in Florida, so we experience hurricanes on a fairly frequent basis compared to the rest of the country. But it's just absolutely crazy to see some of the stuff that's coming out of there. But alright, moving on from there, it has been a rather busy weekend. We got some Call of Duty World War II beta action. This thing came out a day earlier than it was supposed to, back on Thursday. And I've basically been playing it non-stop since. I've hit the max level. I hit, originally the max level you could get to was 20. I got to that. They upped it to 25 on like Friday or Saturday. I hit 25. I've unlocked all the weapons. I've unlocked all the divisions, all the perks. I've played through most of the game modes. I don't think I've played Domination yet. I might need to jump into that one. But I've gotten through the new stuff like the War mode. I talked a bit about that on the EotW podcast episode for this week, and it's fun. Overall, I'd have to say, the Call of Duty World War II beta, it can be pretty darn fun. You know, this is the return to the classic boots on the ground of old. A style of COD game that we haven't seen since Call of Duty Ghosts several years ago. And overall, it's a pretty good experience. It's a pretty darn good experience. But the game's definitely not perfect. It's got some growing pains to go through. But I figure this is the beta period, so this is the time to make complaints, to get these out there so Sledgehammer, so Michael Condrey can see these complaints, get it down there to the R&D team, and get things hammered out. So we're just going to spend the video talking a bit about what I like and what I'd like to see changed when it comes to Call of Duty World War II. Gameplay action you're seeing here is a little bit of Point Duc, playing around on that trench-based map with my PPSH here. The PPSH, I've got a kind of a love-hate relationship with it right now. SMGs on the whole feel kind of weak in this game because the damage fall-off rate is really, really extreme. It's really harsh for them. But every now and again, they perform in like this incredible capacity. They just absolutely melt people. And the PPSH is probably the best one in the beta. When you get this thing maxed out, you can run it with extended mags, with rapid fire, or you can run advanced rifling, which is basically like the long barrel perk from Black Ops. It gives you that extra damage fall off range with rapid fire, and it shreds. Right now, what I've been doing is I've been going the infantry division, which is kind of the replacement for some of the core perk abilities from previous COD games. The infantry division allows you, when you level it up, to equip more than 2 attachments on a weapon. So I've been running that with the PPSH maxed out, got that extended mags, gives you a nice little kind of drum mag on it, rapid fire, and either the grip to just, you know, completely mitigate any of the recoil there, or advanced rifling so that it can get a little bit more range out of it. And it's working pretty well. This thing is a really solid contender, and it's probably the most consistent shredder of all of the SMGs. I'm really digging it, but yeah, as a whole, SMGs do feel a little on the weak side. I think they could probably be tuned just a little bit so that they're more consistent at range. They don't need to be contending with assault rifles or LMGs or anything. You know, you shouldn't be cross-mapping people in 3 to 4 shots with an SMG. But I think you could probably bump up their competitiveness by just a bit. Weapon balance overall feels kind of interesting. The only weapons that I found that I don't like right now are surprisingly LMGs. I just feel like for once those things are actually the big heavy weapons they're always meant to be. It feels so slow drawing those things and then getting them to ramp up their rate of fire. I just stick with assault rifles and SMGs most of the time. Or shotguns. You've probably heard a lot about the shotguns in this game, and those things absolutely slap. So weapon balance isn't too bad. There's quick scoping in the game. If you weren't looking forward to that, it's absolutely a thing in this. I haven't found it to be as oppressive or as annoying as it's been in previous COD games, but it's definitely a thing. I'll tell you what, they're not the most consistent things in the world either, but some of the shotgun gameplay in this is crazy. It's a really fun class, especially on this map right here. But moving on, other things I like, surprisingly, the division system. I think there can be some things that could be changed about it, but to explain really quickly, divisions are basically your new create a class. Now with divisions, unlike the old school create a class system, the perks that you have available when you create your class are actually rather limited. With the divisions, you've got like a basic set of class abilities that you can customize further with selectable perks, but they kind of have to mix and match with the latent abilities that are going to be on that class. The 5 divisions that we get to play as are Airborne, Mountain, Infantry, Armored, and the Expeditionary Force. Now, these different classes, like I said, are going to have different skills and perks and abilities that are latent to them that you kind of have to unlock as you play with that division and level it up. And the abilities that you unlock with them kind of replace some of those old tier 1 abilities from previous CODs. For example, we've got the Mountain Division, which is kind of like the Sniper Division. It comes with the latent ability to basically disappear from radar when there's a UAV up. So that old school classic ghost ability is it's no longer a selectable perk that you can put on all classes. It's something you can only have while playing as the Mountain Division. And then of course there's other stuff like faster mount speed, and Marathon is something that's latent to the Airborne Division. That's the division you want to run if you're a run and gunner moving around super quick and whatnot. So it's definitely a big change from previous Call of Duty games. I really don't hate it. It hasn't been too bad. I certainly think that the divisions could use a bit of a rework. Some of the perks could certainly use some tuning, but ultimately it creates an experience that's unique from a lot of the other Call of Duties out there. And you'll really have to think about your character build and how you're going to approach most fronts of combat in World War II. Now, matchmaking. Now, this is, of course, always a point of contention in Call of Duty games. I think the hit detection is definitely off in this. It definitely needs some work. There are plenty of times, and if you played the beta, I'm sure you've experienced it, where you just drop shot after shot after shot into a guy. He takes like maybe 2 hit markers and then blows you out of the water. So, yeah, that's the usual inconsistent COD nonsense that's always a thing and definitely should be addressed and changed with the game before it fully releases. But moving on to something that I absolutely dislike about the game and really hope changes, the sprint lockout. Oh man, do I hate the sprint lockout. Alright, so with COD World War II, you no longer have infinite sprint. And you know what, I can understand that. Yeah, we're going back to World War II and whatever. You don't want the game to move as fast as previous CODs in the last couple of years has. They're definitely slowing the game down from Infinite Warfare, from Black Ops 3 and games like that. It plays a lot closer to Modern Warfare Remastered, where you've got a lot of people just basically sitting back in head glitch spots and not a lot of running around. This is definitely not a rusher's COD. Which, of course, bums me a little bit, but let's move on. But the sprint lockout is so rough to deal with in this game. I mean, you got these highly trained soldiers, the cream of the crop, baby. We've got the greatest generation, and you're telling me these trained soldiers can only sprint for a max of 4 seconds? It's just never something that's ever made sense to me, and it's so frustrating to be rushing forward, trying to escape somebody or trying to chase somebody, being able to sprint for all of 2 to 3 seconds, then stopping, then having to sprint, stop, sprint, stop, sprint, stop. It's super duper frustrating, and I really hope that's something that they change, because it really interferes with gameplay. Yeah, sure, we don't want everybody running around as quickly as they were moving in Infinite Warfare or Black Ops 3. We don't have to have that, the maps aren't designed for that, but you could probably bump up that sprint timer just a little bit. Or you could tune the airborne division so that when you level it up, it doesn't just give you extended sprint, it gives you infinite sprint. That alone would be a massive change to that class, and in my opinion, a huge benefit for the airborne division. But anyways, that's probably my biggest complaint with the beta. In all the headaches that I've had with the wonky hit detection and the score streaks definitely feel weak in this game. They're not the strongest. That's another thing that definitely needs some tuning. I got a paratrooper squad, a couple of those the other day, and like I got, I think in total from like 2 to 3 call-ins of that thing, 1 kill. They just kind of come in, walk around, get shot, and die. So yeah, that could definitely use some work. I think the bomb kill streak where you kind of just flying a plane and you drop a bomb on a group of enemies, I think that's okay. It's kind of like the Predator missile. They could probably increase the blast radius of it a little bit. The only thing that seems to get consistent kills is A, Molotov cocktails, which are super duper fun, and B, the mortar strike. But yeah, next to the hit detection and the weak kill streaks, I think it's definitely my most frustrating thing is the sprint lockout. I absolutely hate stuff like that in Call of Duty. But yeah, overall, I've been enjoying myself more than I, haven't been enjoying myself when playing the Call of Duty World War II beta. I think it's got something unique and fresh and good to offer. The boots on the ground feels really good. The gunplay, when it's working, feels pretty good. I think it's going to be a unique experience when it comes out, and I think it could be a really good game if they iron out some of these frustrations early on. So yeah, if they can manage to do that, then we'll have ourselves a pretty fun classic COD experience. But Activision, don't let that deter you from continually releasing games for the Xbox One backwards compatibility. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The moment you guys release Modern Warfare 2 on Xbox One backwards compatibility, I'm there. I'll still buy your new games just to show support, but I'm on Modern Warfare 2 all day, all night. But anyways, that's it for this one, guys. I just very quickly wanted to let you guys know how I feel about the overall COD World War II beta. It's not over yet. I think it ends on like the 31st or something, so we've got another day or so of it. I'm going to continue playing it. I'm going to continue getting in on there and seeing if I can have some fun with it, just so I can get a more comprehensive feel for how the game plays. But right now, would I recommend it? Maybe. Like I said before, it could use some polish, but the potential is definitely there. But alright, that's it for this one, guys. Be sure to let me know how you Guardians feel down in the comment section below. Have you been playing the COD World War II beta? What are your thoughts? Be sure to let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like and make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my latest videos. YouTube's been going crazy as of late, so gotta get that stuff out there however I can. But anyways, I'm out for now. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, I am the Black Link. You guys stay frosty.